3,
2,
1.
1. Monkey bars. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Thick and
I'm fucking butter. That's what my name is.
podcast. AKA radio show over the internet.
Yeah.
My name is Alex.
And my name is Jesse. I think we have derailed a little bit.
And
AKA
you know what? Listen.
Thick.
Yeah, right. We already said our names. You know what? Listen. Fuck the intro, okay?
Yeah.
I forget it every single time now.
Yeah.
It was consistent for about 60 episodes, and then it's just
we're falling apart. Well, let's take this instead of approaching it like we are derailing from any kind of form. We're losing our touch, you would sort of say. Let's say we're taking the experimental. Yeah, it's an experimental turn of our career. We're trying out new things. Maybe that worked. Let us know.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't listen to this podcast. We just talk this podcast.
Yeah, right. And you guys should listen.
Yeah. That's listen.
Oh,
that's a business transaction.
Speaking of a listener,
I
got a text from a listener.
Yeah,
that made me laugh so hard. Shout out to Kevin.
God bless you, son.
I guess on the last episode,
I
told a story where when I was in the locker room with I saw a grown man's penis.
Oh, that when you like looked up at it and it was in your aerospace?
Right in my face. Yeah. When I was 11, traumatic experience. I remember every detail. It's a frame, like, you know, you have memories. Sometimes you just have like frames, right? You just have like, one thing where you're like, and that's just what I remember. I don't remember my fucking wonderful weekend at Splash Lagoon. I don't remember that. What I remember is that. So, fuck you. I don't remember this amazing water park experience. Whenever I tell people I go to water parks too, they're like, what do you call, like, how do you go to a water park?
Yeah.
How do you have fun in the water? You can't even fucking swim.
Well, you enjoy the fun. If other people are having fun.
Yeah, I just stand around and like, water's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Wait, but what did our listener say?
Oh, yeah, right.
About the penis.
He was saying that he had a similar experience.
Oh my God.
He related to that story hardcore. That he was in a locker room as a boy, and he apparently got flashed by a grown man without his permission.
Oh, dog! Another case of dick.
Maybe if he asked, you know, he was like, "Hey, can I do this?" You're like,
yeah,
okay.
No, that's not. That's way worse. That's way worse. We do not condone that on this podcast. This is a safe space. Don't ask children permission to flash them. What are you talking about? Consent is okay in every other context except for that one. In that situation, that is a red flag to run.
I'm so happy that you like laughed at that. I thought you were gonna like completely just pass that by. You look how funny that would be if like we didn't mention that, and then like people were
that's fine.
What are you I don't think that's okay.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you.
I apologize.
But I'm glad the guy didn't ask for your consent, I guess. I don't know if I have any
Oh.
like traumatic dick flash memories. Why are we always talking about penises?
I
Like
don't know,
seriously,
man.
I put that task up, that task, our Instagram post. I posted on Instagram and I said something like three common things that we talked about. And I was like, really, number one should be penis. But I didn't put it on there because I felt like it would be crude. But we really do. It comes up so frequently. What's happening? Are we just stir crazy? We just don't have enough penises around to
Dude,
like look at.
quarantine's making us dick crazy, dude.
That's the name of the episode for
Yeah.
sure. Wow.
um,
We did crazy.
that's my new single, by the way.
What's the hook for Dick Crazy? Can you do a spoiler of Dick Crazy?
Nah, dude, I'm gonna, I'm gonna drop it at midnight, dude.
Drop it at midnight tonight. Let the hook happen in your
Oh,
imagination.
fuck,
What
dude.
could it be?
Oh, dude. I'm
Uh,
scared.
has anything
Dude,
happened?
I don't
Oh
know. I don't know. Yeah, you never had an experience like that? You ever
no,
had
no,
a
no.
personal experience where,
I have.
I don't
Well,
know, you're in the locker room hanging with the boys and it just kind of drops out and you're like,
no. I mean, I've never.
whoops.
I've never like. I just didn't really play sports. I wasn't in locker rooms all
Sure.
the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And when I was in school where there were sports, we were such a small sport team that
Yeah.
we didn't have naked locker rooms.
Naked locker rooms.
Oh, dude, you know what it was?
Mm.
We were such preppy boys, preppy little comfortable boys that we actually got naked in the bath stalls
Right.
and we do it out. We wouldn't get naked around
Well,
each other.
I like that.
I do too. I didn't feel comfortable getting naked
You
around.
know, I didn't do that. I did
Yeah.
that. I would go to the basketballs and do that. Very
Yeah.
discreetly, though. I didn't. And
You
then
gotta like
if I
fake.
did get naked, it was like up against the fucking lockers and like really, really like, just kind of quickly put my underwear on or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
one way you could do it. Other than
Yeah,
like
yeah.
turning around and just fucking like, oh, let me put my underwear back on. Um, I have a pretty good story.
Is this a recent story or is this
This is
another?
like no, this is like on the like if you I was getting at if you accidentally, I don't know, showed your wee wee to the boys, in the locker room. And
Like you personally?
well, it had so
You flash someone. Is this what you're trying to say?
oh, I've done it multiple times. I
Well,
mean,
you
I've done it to
flash.
you.
Yeah, you flash. You
Oh,
haven't done it.
I think it is hilarious.
You've
I
done. You've
love
done.
it.
Do you, is
I'm
this like
looking you.
a
I'm looking you. I'm
you?
looking you.
But well, you did one time. You did dick
Dude, I've moved
flashing
you a few
hardcore.
times.
They were all really funny.
Oh,
Admittedly.
oh, I know what you're talking about. That shit is funny. Um, yeah, that was a mishap.
When you when you walked up and you slowly pulled all of your pants off and then slowly pulled everything back up. Here is my penis. And there you go.
I don't even know why I did that.
Dude, we were crazy. We were in school in senior year and we were both like doing like trying to
I
edit
must
and
have
make
been
a
like,
movie.
I think I was just like, oh, this will be fucking funny.
Yeah. It was. It was very funny.
I've done that to like multiple people. I find it to be one of the funniest things ever.
I think it's pretty
But
funny.
dude, to that
Pretty
point
damn
is
funny.
the first time I did that,
Yeah.
I was like, I was like 8, dude. I
Yeah.
was in the, I remember this. I was in the bathroom, and like it was like a bathroom break. And this was when I was at DePaul, which is a school for deaf kids.
Oh
So
yeah.
deaf, so it was like all these deaf, all my deaf friends, and we were all in the bathroom. And I remember like peeing
Uh-huh.
and like thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, it would be so funny if I just didn't put my pants on. Like I just walked to the uh to the sink and like not like just wash my hands and with my pants down.
Yeah.
And like I did it and everyone thought it was hilarious. Like they were laughing so hard. I remember that. So I think that's probably why I still do it to this day.
That's so funny. What if you
Because
had
I walked up like nothing was wrong. And I just
yeah.
kind of, and I
That's
was 8 years
funny.
old. I was,
That's like a ballsy move to do
yeah, dude,
as an 8 year
I
old.
don't know what happened. I was super confident until I was, oh, I don't know,
24
12.
hours ago. Yeah. So okay, here's a question for you. Do you think if you got the different feedback, like people like
Oh,
screamed,
horrified? Yeah, these like
yeah.
a traumatic moment for me when it's
But
about the
do you
risk.
think you'd
You know,
be
I don't think,
so
yeah, that's a good question. Like,
would you be like not funny now?
if people reacted to that, like, I don't know, it would have definitely shaped like sense of humor. Because
Yeah.
if they were like, oh my god, and I was still laughing, that was
Yeah.
good. That and I was laughing. That would be a different,
A different story.
different.
Yeah.
I just think I would have a different sense of humor.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's interesting. That's
you
like the
know.
evil funny Alex.
Yeah, that's like darkly funny that like I'm doing this for my own benefit,
Yeah, dog.
you know.
Yeah,
And
dog.
sometimes that can be funny, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sometimes it's just not. Also,
sometimes it's not.
sometimes it's not. But
But I can recall a few times when I did that with friends.
yeah,
Just I don't care, you
just like
know.
rip down your pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a piece of news that is not super interesting, but I've just wanted to tell you this for the past like 3 episodes. Did you
Okay.
see that Ellen Page is now Elliot Page?
Elliot Page. Yeah,
I thought that was
I
kind
got.
of interesting.
Yeah. What's
What a change
interesting
in
about it?
culture. Well, like what I think is
I'll be honest. Good for her or him. Good for
yeah,
him. Um, I laughed when I saw that he changed it to Elliot.
right. Yeah,
I just thought that was funny.
I agree.
If you're gonna do that, just don't. I don't know. Just they're gonna show something different. You know,
Yeah.
like Ellen. Oh, now he's Elliot. It's like,
Now,
oh,
yeah.
okay. I guess
Yeah.
that's easier when you're famous. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true. I hope it was a
what would
choice.
if you wouldn't change your name at all? If you were
Yeah,
like,
I would still be Jesse. Convenient.
yeah,
That's it.
right,
That's totally fits
or
my
with an
personality.
IE
Yeah. I wouldn't even no, dog. No, dog. I'm keeping it not no fucking
or
eyes
a
in my name.
Y.
Wow, that's
Spell it
so
with a Y somehow.
maybe I mean maybe if I was transgender maybe I'd be zany enough to take that action but
Yeah, right,
I that's just Y is too much for me. I like the
right.
symmetry of the JESSE.
I like it
I
too.
like it's nice and compact,
Yeah,
it's all good, no bullshit.
but
Sometimes I've seen my name spelled JESSEE. Do you know how much horror that
E,
feel? Yeah, it
dude,
makes
that's
me
like
want to vomit. It's horrible.
that's bad.
Jesse,
That's
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
I
Because
know.
who has seen like no one's named that like
Yeah.
ever.
Jesse.
And also like most likely when it's if you see your name written, like
Yeah.
that person who wrote your name does that for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, wait, wait,
or
wait, 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 wait. I'm so confused. You're
where
talking about
I don't know what I'm talking about.
there's someone
I
whose job for
I
a
was
living is writing
I
my
was I was thinking
name? What's
I
your
was
job?
thinking
I write Jesse
I was
over and
thinking
over.
I was thinking when you go to Starbucks, you're like, hey,
Okay.
my name's Alex.
Okay.
And they write your
Oh,
name on the
okay.
cup.
Okay.
I was always blown away by whatever, like, because Starbucks is notorious for just getting names completely wrong. And
Yeah.
it's really funny because I like to see that, you know?
Yeah.
He writes for a living as well as making you coffee. It's a secondary job, you know?
you
I didn't need writing as a job, it's a primary job.
Yeah. Well, I thought what you meant as a
Who's a
job,
writer?
but like as like his primary job
Who
was just writing
writes
the
stuff?
name Jesse. Just
Oh
writing the
yeah,
name
that's a good
Jesse.
name too.
Jesse?
No, I mean that's that's a good. I think that would be a good job.
That'd be a good career. Just writing my name over
It
and
actually
over
sounds
again.
like something like someone would be working in Brazil, a movie that we're going to talk about later.
Oh yeah, just writing the same name. That's true. Like
Yeah,
kind of a post
that feels
apocalyptic.
like a dystopian job.
Man, that's
Ministry of Information.
yeah. What do you think would be like the most draining job for you? Like the job that
Draining job.
like not even like this is fucking boring and I want to kill myself, but like a kind of I don't know
Like
what could be
what the
worse than that.
worst job? Like the worst job you could think of?
Yeah, the kind of thing where it's like I can't think of something that expresses the kind of bile I want to capture with this.
Yeah. Are you thinking like a cubicle job?
Yeah, like something specifically
Something's
like what
really
kind of
There's
computer
something
job?
really bad about that because like
Yeah.
the first thing that I would go to would be like if I was talking about worst like jobs to have, like
Yeah.
coal miners, like number
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah.
but like there's something a little bit more romantic
Well,
about
what I would
being a
like
coal miner rather than you're sitting in a cube with a bunch of dudes
I agree.
that like there's something so like dull and like lifeless about that. It's like coal miner, like you meet some fucking characters first
Yeah,
of all,
right.
and then you'll also like it's every day's an adventure at least.
Yeah.
You
Am I
don't
going to
know if you're
die or
coming
not?
out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 100% I agree with that. I do. I agree with that
But
because
there's something so awful. You're right. Like that's why. Have you ever seen Office Space?
no.
That's like
Oh,
one of my favorite comedies.
that's the thing that like has like the it was memed the fuck out of it like when
Yeah, you want my
early on.
stapler? Was that my
Yeah.
stapler? That
Yeah.
guy with the
Yeah, I
Coke
think
bottle
so.
glasses? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Office
Yeah,
Space. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. And I know it's
that's my
like
stapler.
we've always we you always hear how bad like a cubicle job is, but I can just like imagine
It could be
like
kind of fun. I mean,
it
there.
depends on what you're doing on the computer because
Yeah.
there's a
Also,
lot of cool
but it
stuff you can be
also
doing.
depends on who is around you. Like, if you have like
Yeah.
people that you like and like want to like talk to them at the water cooler,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that'll make it
Whatever. Yeah.
worthwhile, I guess.
Yeah.
For making relationships.
But what specifically, like what in the computer, like if you were doing, like if you were just moving numbers,
Yeah.
I think that would be the worst thing that I could possibly be doing if you were
Yeah,
just on, that's
like
like the job you had. Like you're
like
just like putting
yes,
in
like
like
data entry.
inventory. Yeah. That,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Data entry.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think data entry sounds like
yeah,
the scariest thing in
yeah.
the
That
world
was
to me.
bad. That was bad.
That
That
would
was
be
bad.
crushing.
I only did that for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't blame you. I
and I was
don't
like,
blame
well,
you.
I didn't. Luckily, I was doing that. That was like a job where I did like a ton of different things.
Yeah.
And just for that 2 weeks, I was doing data entry.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank
It was
goodness,
horrible.
dog. Yeah, I
But like,
bet.
yeah, dude, there's something about, dude. Like, imagine that you do that every day.
It'd
You
be
consider that
hard.
you go to work. It's not that it's hard. It's fucking easy as fucking dog shit. It's
Yeah.
just a pattern. You like see this, look at that, look at that, look at this, look at this, type the number.
Yeah.
It's just a pattern.
Yeah.
Imagine you're doing that all day from 9 to 5, looking at fucking numbers. You're
Yeah.
gonna go insane. Like,
I
'cause
think
that's all you see is a fucking express, you know,
spreadsheets.
Excel sheet.
Yeah.
And, like, you can listen to podcasts, or I mean, that's what I would fucking do. Just fucking hour-long podcasts,
Yeah.
just fucking because that job doesn't require you fucking
Yeah.
mental.
I think yeah, it's kind of the other thing to keep in mind is that we're also like creative do it kind of types.
Yeah,
So like
absolutely.
the so
Yeah,
like
if you
that
want to do that,
yeah.
that's awesome.
But like there's some things like in film that's kind of monotonous like
Oh my god.
naming editing and stuff and
She's
it's like
actually
it's
doing
like
no,
how
dude. There's that job in film. The fucking
yeah, the
guy who
clip
types
label.
up all the subtitles,
Yeah, right.
or
Yeah.
dude, a TV transcriber,
Oh,
bro.
that would be brutal.
Imagine doing this.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting at a computer all day,
Yeah.
watching Jersey Shore, and
Yeah.
having to, like, type out everything that they say.
Yeah, that would be
and you
hard.
do that all day.
Wow. So okay, so
That
that's
probably could be funny, but if you're just sitting there,
yeah.
it would get old. It
Yeah.
would get old.
Oh, okay. Wait, so now I have a question about this job because I guess I always assume like with subtitles or with TV that they would just send the script and someone would just type up the script and they would like check it or something.
Well,
But
no, because not with reality. Because reality
oh,
TV shows are
right.
not scripted. Well,
Oh.
they're scripted, but they're not word
Oh,
for word. But also,
right.
like, it's hard too because you know, most things, I would assume, they don't go word for word. The actor
Yeah.
usually does his own thing, pauses, like when the music cues, that's most likely not in the script.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
there you have to add, like, tons of different stuff. Sound, like birds chirping,
Yeah.
fucking, like, all that stuff. Dude, just talking about
Right.
it, holy crap. That would
Yeah.
be horrible. And
Yeah.
you do that weekly. You do that like every
Yeah.
day because you're a 2D. That's your job. You're a 2D transcriber.
That would
Oh,
suck. That
dude,
would suck. I do
dude.
think that would not be as painful
Yeah,
as the
because
data
you're
entry.
watching. It could be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like you'll really get to know the show, and
Yeah.
also like it could be funny. Like
Yeah.
I would like just be like, dude, this is such a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I
But
get
the
when you watch that much of reality TV, you
real
could get
good.
like really good at like noticing like how fucking bullshit it is,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Okay.
wonder what those people have to say, you know? Like, do you think that they have just like this really unique perspective
Yeah, no, yeah, I would love to meet one. Yeah, they
or they just
probably do have a pretty interesting. They probably have a funny perspective of it
yeah.
because like they've seen so much of it.
Yeah.
Even
We
if
we
they like it, even if they enjoy it, like watching it, they would
yeah.
know so much about it, and that would just be like hilarious.
Yeah, and I feel like every time that we're not talking about like actors or directors, we just sort of assume that everyone else is just really stupid or not worth talking to. But like, and sure, like there are definite okay, the thing is that yes, in this career of typing up the subtitles for the TV show, probably a lot of them are dumb. But guess what? A lot of cinematographers are fucking stupid. A
Well, I
lot of
mean, like,
directors are stupid too.
we gotta start it somewhere, you
Yeah,
know?
right.
Like, I mean, like, I go, like, yeah, I
I,
mean, like, mostly everybody and that's something, like, that's kind of different about the film industry rather than, like, an office job.
yeah,
Because most likely, like, if you're doing the office job, like, I might be wrong,
yeah,
but, like, you would assume that there may be, like, they don't have, like, maybe, like, dreams or aspirations to, like, oh, I'm gonna, like, get a promotion and, like,
yeah,
maybe they do. I don't know what the culture's like there, but
yeah,
when you're an intern on a set or you're most likely there to be an actor or
yeah.
somebody that
Oh, yeah, I see
just
what you
wants to
mean.
be
Yeah,
around that. I think there's probably more fun, energy, and um, people have dreams in those jobs. I feel
well, I
like
think yeah, I think the
they're not. It's not
distinction.
so much dream crushing than
Yeah,
um, maybe sitting behind the desk
well, I think the
for some
big
people.
the big distinction you're making is a distinction between working for like a paycheck versus working for passion, which is like, yeah,
Yeah,
people go to an office job and they're trying to get a promotion, but it's not because I care so much about this, it's because I would like a bigger paycheck to be able to feed myself better.
and my
But like,
family. Yeah,
and when you're in film, it's more like I can't feed myself and I accept that because I
yeah,
want to
right.
make
Yeah,
films.
right. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's so yeah. I mean, like I got like especially those types of jobs. Like I know the job I'm working now. Like bunch of young people. They're
Yeah,
in the
right.
same. Like they're like, yeah, I don't really know I'm doing, and I I I want some money, so I'm
Yeah.
doing this. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
dog.
okay, cool.
Makes
So
sense.
like,
Good plan.
it's one of those entry level jobs, man. But like, yeah, I hope I'm not like 45,
Yeah.
working at a fucking, you know, cubicle and be like, "Hey, Johnny, is the
Yeah.
water good today?" You know,
Yeah, right.
how many donuts do they have in the break room? Because I am famous.
Yeah, I don't mean to be like an asshole with this observation, but I always think about when I see old people at grocery stores or something like that. And I mostly think it's just like, I hope you're content with your life. I hope that you're making this decision
That's nice.
because, like, not because whatever you are out
Yeah,
or
like
wanting
walking
to
up to the.
do.
Are you thinking that whenever you see an old guy walk to the Twinkies and just grab the
Yeah, no, no,
ton
I
of
mean like
boxes, and you're
working. Well,
thinking
I mean
like, I
like
hope he's happy.
no, I mean like the people working the
Oh
checkout, like checking
yeah,
out my Twinkies.
sure,
It's
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
I hope you're in you this is contentful, like fulfilling
yeah,
for you to
probably.
do this job.
You know,
I
I've had
always
enough jobs like that where, um, yeah, dude, I think people are, I think I think, how can we, I think we're kind of the rare breed of people who kind of don't, who kind of want to get out of that. But
yeah.
we're also fortunate, to be in the situation that we are in, where it's like, oh, we can do this. We
Yeah.
don't have to.
It is
Some
a bit of a
people,
shift in
some
mindset, I
people have
think.
a background. We don't know like like you don't know what their upbringing is or how they we don't know their perspective at all. So like we
Yeah,
don't
right.
know what they like just see it as work. And all they care about is their kid and their family. Like they don't
Yeah.
care. And I'm
I
kind of
feel
like in that. Like I have a similar mindset to that, but like it's yeah, people are just like yeah, I just want to
I think in the generations we kind of have this being young people, I think we have a preference towards liking our mindset towards things more than not our mindset, which makes sense.
yeah. I mean, I
Um
think like the quarantine. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in this godforsaken, horrible piece of garbage fucking year
yeah.
2020 is that like I'm trying to like really understand other people's perspectives a lot more. Like I'm really trying to pay attention to like I'm just trying to be
Right.
less judgmental. And like even
Yeah,
if
that's
like
good.
you are, it's just like joking around because you really just don't know. You just don't like you don't know about any person.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
mean, like everybody like this shit is being a human, especially this year, is
Yeah.
fucking. It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
fucking awful. It's a giant stress ball, you
Yeah.
know. So like I don't know. I'm just trying to be less like I don't know. Try to I don't know. I think a lot of like so what I think this every person has this feeling. Everybody on this planet that like sees a person and is like, oh, I'm doing better than them.
Yeah.
I'm doing better than them. It's just this mentality that people have. It's like I want
Yeah.
to be better than people. I want to be significant. I want to be somebody that is worth walking on this God screen earth or
Yeah.
Buddha. But or Buddha's Earth, who knows? Um,
Gods are Buddha's earth. But yeah, I mean, I think that like is sort of what I was talking like thinking about with the thinking about our generations, because one of the like realizing the perspective of an older generation, I always thought that the idea of just sort of wanting a career work, which meant a lot more back then, like you could actually have a life just working at a grocery store, which
yeah,
is not so much the case now. But that aside,
yeah, that's a
there's
whole
something
other
yeah,
discussion.
but there's something meaningful when I've sort of been like realizing the perspective in there's something meaningful when you take the time to put yourself in their perspective and realize the importance of just accepting your situation instead of trying to make yourself better than everyone
Yeah,
around.
because like who fuck? I mean, you really shouldn't compare yourself or anything to another person. That's like
Yeah.
just in human nature to do that.
Yeah, right.
Like it feels good. Like when you or like compare someone that's in I don't know jail.
Yeah,
You
right,
got
right.
I'm doing better than that guy.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. You're like, all
Yeah,
right.
it's an
But
interesting
so
kind of
there's nothing wrong with that. That's just something that people do, you
I
know?
think it's kind of a complicated back and forth dance that we have to do because we need the context of comparing ourselves to other people to figure our own shit out, but we can't do
Yeah.
that too much or else we
No,
fuck
I
with
mean
our own
it's
heads.
a huge motivator in innovation,
Yeah.
you know? It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
huge motivator in innovation. It's a huge motivator. Uh Without that feeling, without the feeling of I want to be successful or I
Yeah.
want to be kind of greater, we like I have a lot of these inventions that we have today because
Yeah, it's true.
these people who were like, I want to make a machine that you know sounds go through and you can put it through a computer. You know, like
Yeah.
there's that's how we came up with a microphone. That guy.
I was thinking of all the pieces of equipment that could be, but
Yeah, that could be a lot of different things.
the microphone is a good example of that.
You
Perhaps the
talk into
prime example.
talk into this thing,
And then
and
it
it
goes
goes
into
into box.
a computer. You know what I think is funny is how like if you're a techie like a techie audiophile guy like working in the studio, some people know the science, like they actually know the fucking science.
Yeah,
But I always laugh when we were taking that one like studio class with
yeah,
them,
yeah,
and explains the process of what's happening like
yeah.
science wise, or like when you're in an intro physics class or chemistry or anything
Right.
like that, they're explaining shit to you that are just like this is what's happening, but you still don't know what the fuck is
I
happening
know, right?
because like you can explain
Dude, that's
I
like
know.
I know, dude. That always fucked with me because I was
Yeah.
like physics. I was like, what? I was like, here's how things move. You know,
Yeah.
like here's how, and then you're like, but what do you know? You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
know that.
right. Yeah.
You actually don't
Yeah.
because what this thing called gravity,
Yeah.
bro. We just came up with that. This
Dude, yeah.
isn't. You don't know what that is.
Yeah.
This is all fucking like science and all that.
Yeah.
It's literally people being like we don't know. A frog isn't a fucking frog. Okay,
Yeah.
nothing has a name. We just do it because we don't just to quantify all this shit that's on our
Yeah.
earth
Yeah.
and how to fucking deal with all of this shit. We have to have names. That's a tree. That's a
Yeah.
bear.
Yeah.
That's a leaf. You know, we, but but they're not. You know, they're not.
They're nothing.
So that's what I don't understand about science.
Yeah.
Scientists comment. Are we correct in our assessment?
Now, no,
Science is bullshit.
let us
Not
also
bullshit.
say
Not bullshit.
no, yeah, that's a great segue into what I was going to say because we are definitely pro science, but we're just
Yeah.
really stupid. So,
Right.
but like I agree with you because I was thinking about I know how this microphone works, but all I know is what
Kinda.
someone I know that what's
How,
happening
dude?
is
How do
that
you
is
describe? You could. I don't care how many words people throw at me, or
yeah.
how do you describe like voice, like a
Yeah.
sound?
Well, okay, yeah. See, here's the thing that's like that. I'll go through this and I can explain the whole process, but I don't actually know what it means after we start picking it apart. So here's the explanation of how a microphone works. I talk, it's sound waves, right? It goes in here, it goes inside
Yeah.
of the
But what's a
microphone.
sound wave that goes through like
It's
the
literally it's
vibrations into the
vibrating air.
fucking
It's
yeah,
waves like this in the air, and that
right.
goes in here, and it wiggles something, and that wiggle
And
gets
then it
changed,
wiggles.
and that wiggle changes into electricity, which goes through the cord, and then goes to my box, which changes the wiggle that was changed into
Yeah,
electricity
right.
into data,
That's
which
the
then the computer
simplest thing
takes.
ever, dude.
Yeah.
It goes into this box, and then it just records it.
So like I know that's how it works, but like what's
Yeah,
the fucking wiggle? What how do you make the
dude, I
wiggle
know,
into
right?
electricity? How do you
Dude, I
do
know,
that?
I
How does
know,
that happen? Or like with guitars, I play guitar, electric guitar, and I look at it every once in a while.
right?
It's like, how the fuck is the sound getting into those little things? I
Yeah,
understand that the guitar wiggles and somehow the pickup picks up that wiggle
yeah.
and changes it into electricity, which I can
Guitar,
then manipulate on the computer computer. But how?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I
How
was
did you figure
thinking,
that
I've
out?
been thinking about building. I want to build a PC at some point, a
Yeah,
gaming
me
PC.
too.
I just want to do it.
Yeah.
I want a computer, but I also want to have the experience of like buying the parts and like building it. I just think
It
it'll be
sounds
fun.
fun. It sounds super
Yeah.
fun.
And dude, I'm doing some research about this shit.
Oh
Bro, it's
yeah.
making my head hurt. You're like, okay, the GeForce RTX 4020 graphics card. You're like, okay. And then you're like, what's the difference between a graphics card and a GPU? Isn't the CPU that's the computer? You know, and
Yeah.
then the GPU is the graphics. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, wow, we really are building a computer. Like you have to
Yes.
have like, because you don't think about like this laptop. Like I look at the specs of this laptop and I
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
understood it. I was like, oh shit, those are the components in the computer.
Yeah.
But I don't understand like I don't understand the components of the components. Like I don't understand like
Right.
that's the next
Right.
level of nerdom. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think I want to get that far. I kind of
Yeah.
want to just get to here where I'm like, okay, that makes it look good.
Yeah.
Graphics card, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Graham, give me the graphics.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, this.
RAM.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's like 3 different storages, and you're like, okay, I'm only used to one storage. What is SSD? What is RAM
Yeah.
storage? Fuck, like, there's somebody listening to this, like, holy shit,
This guy,
guys are
these
idiots.
guys, holy cow.
But I don't know, dude. Like, please, if you're a PC whiz,
Yeah.
just please
Help us out.
send me your rig. You
Yeah.
know, I want some recommendations, man. I don't.
The way to go, I think, is to just basically go on YouTube and type, I want a computer that is under $500 and I want to build it. And some guy will be like, here, I found all the pieces for a
Yeah,
computer that's
right,
$500 and I'll
right,
build it. And I'll show
yeah,
you how to do it. I'll show you what to
yeah.
buy.
And
Because
expire.
yeah. And because the other thing that's fucked up about computer parts, which you were talking about, is the names, right? Because
The names are fucked.
you
There
should
are like 20 fucking numbers. Like,
exactly.
bro, why? Just name, like, okay, here's what I want, like the graphics card. This is the only thing I kind of understand, like the different graphic cards.
Yeah.
Higher number means bigger power. But they should just call it like what it is. You know, like I know the top of the line is the
Yeah.
GTX 3090. They should just call it like 4K or 8K fucking like 240 frames per second, you know, fucking game card. It's like, okay, that's what I'm looking for, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy that, but that's what I'm looking for when I look for a
Yeah.
graphics card. Like I don't know, there's too many numbers there. I don't.
We
What does
should
this one do?
we
What does
should
this one do better than this one?
well, the other thing
That's
too is
$20
that
more.
yeah, that's and the thing is that the numbers are pretty similar, and then you'll change like the letter to an F
Yeah.
573,842
Yeah, it's like,
to
oh,
a
that sounds
G
pretty good. And then you
to
look like, oh shit. You're like, oh,
there should just be a
5,000 is a
button.
pretty high number. You know?
Well, there should just be a like a for dummies buttons when you go on that website,
I
and it's like
know, dude. We
this
gotta
one's
come up with
called
that.
a lily pad.
Yeah,
I
we
like
should.
lily pads are what frog sits on. I want a graphic card that's like a motherfucking
We
frog's
should.
chair.
We should just like come up with an app where it's like PCs for dummies,
Yeah. Well,
created
okay,
by dummies.
Alex, this is a
PCs
great
for
idea.
dummies. Wait,
You
is there a wait a minute? Is there a PCs for dummies book?
there's there's totally a PCs for dummy. I'm sure there is. But let me tell you,
Dated PC for dummies.
I think that you have a really great idea here, but you're overlooking a crucial problem because if we were to make this website, then we would have to know what all the fucking things were to make the for dummy tab.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's called dated PCs for dummies by dummies.
Wow, dude, who
Yeah.
would buy? Okay, what kind
It's
of
probably a
specs?
fascinating app. It's a
Whoa,
fascinating app.
what if we what kind
Like
of
the categories are uh cool ass case. You're like, all
Yeah.
right, cool
Yeah,
ass
yeah.
cases. You look at it, and the next one's like, this will make your computer fast. You're like, all
Fast.
right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, this will make game beautiful. You're like, okay, okay,
That's what I
okay.
want. That's what I
Cool, cool,
want.
cool. And then you go, okay, this will make your computer not blow up. Here's the liquid,
Oh yeah.
cool, or the fan, big old fan. You got the different, sometimes you have millimeter fans.
Yeah.
Fuck the no. It's
Fuck the
it's
millimeter.
small,
Yeah.
medium, or fucking big. You know.
No millimeters allowed in here, dude. No numbers, actually. This is
Yeah,
a purely word website, which is
yeah,
actually a terrible way to buy a spec that's just like you're just convincing them with your beautiful prose, beautiful, simple prose.
yeah.
This is called the big one. We call it the
Yeah,
big one
exactly. Yeah,
because it's
the big
so
one.
big.
Yeah, the big one. That's our top of the line model, PC.
The big
The
one.
big one.
This is $900.
Two
The big
grand.
one.
You
That's good.
know what I
Uh,
also like about PCs?
what?
The fucking lights. You bet your ass when I build my PC, I'm putting this fucking RGB, all the lighting in there.
Yeah, I'm not so much about that. I
Yeah.
like other people who have that, but I want my
I'm
computer
gonna
to
do that.
I don't want it to shine, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm
Light up
corny
my
like that though. I
world.
want people to like come over and they'll be like, "Hey, what is you like a computer?" You
Yeah.
press it, you're like, "Oh wow,
What a light
wow,
show.
that is a machine."
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I don't want any of my tools to look that
I
impressive.
usually don't. I
Yeah.
usually am pretty like whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
understand the light show thing, especially
it's
being
fun, especially when you're like fucking playing Doom Eternal. I want that to be fucking glowing red.
glow in my
You know?
face,
Yeah.
glow all over my face.
Kill a demon. You know? That's what I want. If I'm paying a good significant amount of money for a setup and I'm gonna fucking game hard,
Yeah. Well, I think
make
the
it look
top of
like
the
a light
line,
show. Why not?
the top of the line ones all have lights, I think. That's probably not true, but I'm sure
Probably
that
not. But like, yeah, yeah,
you'll
yeah.
get a good one with the light show in it.
Well, I want to build it, so I want to build. I want to. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe we could build it
I don't
together.
even know how we got. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got to this.
We were talking about data entry and then it all kind of got to this point somehow. But I think we should switch to our movie. Which can we
Yes.
take let me take a break so I can refill my water.
Okay. Sounds good.
So okay, hold on. I'm gonna mark
Take a
this.
break. Click another break.
Yeah.
Boop.
Can we like fuck it. I'll just leave it on. Don't end recording. Did you end recording?
Ah! No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Don't end recording. Don't do it.
I won't.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Am I back? You hear
No.
me?
Uh-uh.
What?
Nope.
Why are you lying?
Hey, do you hear me? No.
No, I don't. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Okay, I'm back. I'm ready. Ready to rock and what?
Wait. Sorry, I just saw fucking hilarious, dude. Could uncut gems, dude. Have you ever seen High School Musical?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah, you probably won't get it. Oh, it's funny. It says
You wouldn't
Zac
understand.
Zac Efron sings a song in High School Musical 2 called "Bet on It."
Oh shit. Yeah.
Bet on it, bet on it. So the dude is just, it's Zac Efron in High School Musical 2. Let's fucking bet on this. Let's bet on this. Let's bet on this shit. Oh, that's funny. Wow, that has a lot of likes. That's like, holy fuck. Yeah.
That is funny. That is
It's
super funny.
Twitter is it's good.
Yeah.
There's a fucking account on Twitter that I'm like a good fuck.
Oh, we're in the break.
I guess we're still in the break.
Yeah, we haven't.
Oh, okay. All right. Lifelong hour.
All right. Let's talk about this movie.
Transition.
Transitioning.
Transition. Shout out to Dylan. Transition. Um,
So
yeah.
this was your movie
So
this
this
week.
is a movie that I picked that oh, no. God, I can't look it. Fuck up.
Are you caught
Fucked
in the
up, dude.
chair?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sitting now. Everything's okay. um, I picked a movie called Brazil. Now, I think it's fair to say that a lot of people don't know about this movie and
I think
don't
that's
really know
true.
what it is. And this is a movie that came out in 1985. That is directed by Terry Gilliam, who will most likely you've definitely seen at least one of his movies.
Yeah.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail, who's one of the founding members of Monty Python, who went on to direct like iconic movies such as Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas
Oh, what?
and 12 Monkeys. Um, and so this is a film that he made in the 80s. And I love Terry Gilliam. Absolutely love Terry Gilliam. Like
He's a pretty cool
when
dude.
I first saw 12 Monkeys, I was like in high school
Yeah.
and I loved it. I loved it. It was so unique and weird. Like I had never seen a sci-fi movie like that. It's a dystopian kind of future, kind of similar to Brazil.
Yeah.
And I love Brad Pitt, and I love the I just his style like fascinated me. I don't really know what it was. It was this kind of unique. Now with some more film knowledge, like when I watch this,
Yeah.
he has this really interesting kind of wide angle, kind of like handheld. There's like style to his movies that are really interesting
Yeah.
and like
Well,
really fun to watch.
I think the biggest thing about it is his creativity with mise en scène
Yeah,
and
yeah, yes,
costume
yeah,
design and
yeah,
world
yeah, yeah,
building,
right, yeah, right,
and also all those other things like in
yeah,
just also just his cinematography and the way that he films it is unlike anybody but
yeah,
Terry Gilliam.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really.
And so I was fascinated by 12 Monkeys, and I fucking Fear and Loathing is
Yeah.
excellent movie.
I did not know he made that. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, yeah,
realize that.
yeah.
I definitely have to see that.
And so so I remember like looking at his filmography and seeing this movie called Brazil, and I was like, what is this? Like I saw the cover on IMDb is like the main character
Is its head exploding, but he's
yeah
like all
head
blue and
exploding
stuff?
with like this with Brazil kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
lips and kind of this weird grin. I was like, what the fuck is that? Um, and I watched it, and this movie like blew my fucking mind, like to the point where like I think when I watched it, I immediately like bought the Criterion of it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this movie, like it kind of it blew my socks off. Like the first time
Yeah.
I saw it, I was stunned, and so watching it again the other night, I am still just like I love this movie, and I'm like so
Yeah.
curious to see. I would be surprised if you didn't like this movie,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to see what you think of it because I think this movie is it's a masterpiece. I think this
Yeah.
movie is unlike any sci-fi movie out there, and it's dystopian movie.
Yeah.
Um, and there's just so many things about it that I just absolutely love.
Yeah.
So. What did you think of Brazil the first
Yeah,
time you watched it?
this is the first time I saw it, and I think that it's really easy to say that it's obviously brilliant. Like it's
Yeah,
brilliant in so many ways. I think also that this is going to be a film that's going to hit me really hard when I watch it for a second time
sure.
as well.
Yeah,
My experience of this is that it really reminds me of sort of like the absurdist venture films, kind of like Under the Silver Lake
yeah,
and The Trial by Orson Welles, if you've ever
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that.
yeah,
In the Wikipedia page, it's described as Kafka-esque, which I think is very, very accurate, where it's sort of this progression of disturbing logic that ends in
yeah,
like not necessarily
yeah,
logical
yeah,
like cause and effects, but it's still this very absurdist cause and effects change.
right.
I think that was all done really excellently. I think compared to other movies, the biggest thing that that didn't resonate with me as much as other movies like this was the protagonist wasn't quite as interesting to me as
Sure,
someone
sure.
like Anthony Hopkins in The Trials or
Yeah,
for Andrew Garfield's character in Under the Silver Lake. But he was still a really good character.
yeah,
And the thing that I just really, really liked about the film was how much multimedia processes were used, like how he added, and it was just so unrestrained in what it let itself like go to and cut to in just the progress of the growth of the film throughout.
yeah.
I thought all of that was just really creatively done.
Uh-huh.
Um and really really well executed in a way that feels like it shouldn't really work that well, but
Yeah.
it's also funny because I think that I it took me a while to realize that this was an absurdist film. And like
Yeah.
watching
Well,
it,
I think what you're getting at is okay. So you're getting at to me what I think the genius of Gilliam, Terry Gilliam, period, is, and you see this in like I've seen it like the majority of his films, and the ones that don't work don't get the synthesis that this movie gets. So the brilliance of this movie to me is the satirical aspect to it, the
yeah,
absurd, the absurd, the Monty, the Monty Python side of the film, almost this kind of absurd comedy in a way,
yeah,
mixed with this
I thought that was really interesting.
extremely well realized and fleshed out world that is saying really interesting things about society. You know, this is a
Yeah,
dystopian film, and it's
yeah,
not. What I love about this is it's not like, you know, maybe something like I think like Idiocracy, where this is like a
mhm,
comedy, kind of about. There's some similarities to Brazil and Idiocracy in a weird way because I feel like Terry Gilliam was kind of playing with the fact that humans most likely got a little bit dumber as, you know,
yeah,
in this alternate reality or future or whatever this is. Um, with you know how simple kind of government turned out to be, and maybe
yeah,
how controlling and how um, kind of airhead and like simple minded a lot of the characters are in this movie, except
yeah,
for our protagonist, which is one of the reasons why I love the main character of this movie because like he first of all, Jonathan Price is like excellent. He's fucking
Yeah.
great in this movie, and I love the idea of he's like the everyman, right? He's this everyman that works in the Ministry of Information, but he's he's the best in his job,
Yeah.
and he is kind of unaware of it almost. He's kind of like just going through the motions until he starts kind of, uncovering these, fucking, you know, fucked up things that are going on in the Ministry of
Conspiracies
Information
is
until he
basically.
turns into kind of the hero of the movie. And that kind of transformation and his kind of realization throughout the film, and this is a fucking noir too. I mean,
Yeah, that's the other cool thing.
this is
Yeah.
like a neo noir in like every sense. Like this is kind of like, and that's another thing about this that I just cannot get enough of. Like I cannot get enough of this like kind of noir film set in this really interesting and bizarre, you know, Terry Gilliam world,
Yeah.
dystopia that he kind of there's this is such a unique vision. There's not a lot of things like this. Like there
Yeah.
just really isn't.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of those are kind of the main things that I just absolutely love about this movie.
Yeah.
But
The-
just responding to what you said, but yeah, the satirical stuff in this movie, like the funny aspect to it, the absurd nature that you're kind of getting at, like I think is really interesting, and I can totally see someone like maybe not picking up on that maybe the first time because
Well,
this
it wasn't that I didn't get it was absurdist, but
yeah, no, I wasn't saying you were, yeah.
no, no, yeah, but what I think what it is a testament, it was more of a testament to the fact of how well he structures it, where you don't realize it's absurdist. It's sort of it kind of like
Yeah,
crept up on me like that, which I
sure.
think, yeah, which but the other thing that this kind of reminds me of is like the only thing I could compare it to was sort of like the genre of like the roaming film, like Under the Silver Lake, but more in the style of David Lynch, but also in the subject matter of Monty Python.
Yeah.
And it's sort of it's such a
Which just sounds absolutely fucking
yeah,
bizarre.
yeah,
But like what you're
which
kind of good at is like it's nothing like this movie. Like
yeah, it's
what
really
you just said
true.
is the fucking weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I
This
know.
movie
Yeah.
really works. Like
Yeah.
so it's fucking it's there's nothing like this.
Yeah.
The tone, everything about this, like you could be like, yeah, like there's some like Lynchian shit in it, maybe. You can say there's some, like of the Roman film, maybe. I don't really get that as much as you. Like, where are you coming
Oh,
from with that?
well, look, so okay, so like the process of like the fact that first of all, the cutting to like this surreal dream that he's having
Yeah, right.
is very much like a David Lynch motivated
Sure,
cut,
yes,
you
yes,
know?
yeah, right,
And not
right.
in the fact that it is literally a dream, which is very much in Lynch's territory, but more so the feeling of this is necessary, but I don't know why it's necessary. And it sort of comes through in the end in a
Yeah,
of
yeah,
strange
yeah,
ways.
yeah.
And I think
That's
another
something that when I saw it, the dream sequence stuff was like super bizarre.
yeah.
First time I saw it. Now it is one of my favorite aspects of this movie is because
It was my favorite aspect of
yeah,
it
it
too,
makes
actually.
it incredibly. It's it's just unique. It's funny. It's kind of like it's this really and it adds so much to it because the main character. What the fuck is his goddamn name?
Isn't it Sam?
Sam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam. Is like I said, he's kind of going through life, kind of like he's on autopilot. There's all these
Yeah.
amazing like moments where he's kind of just like do like everybody else in this world. He's just doing his job and doing it efficiently, and he's doing it more efficiently than everybody else. He's kind of
Yeah.
like, and so these dream sequences, how they start and how they kind of morph throughout the film, where Terry kind of places them and kind of pivotal moments in the film, adds so much to it,
Yeah.
and it makes the ending kind of like really crazy because the
Yeah.
ending is truly like a
Yeah.
like a whoa moment for
Well,
me. And so that kind of there's that's another just fascinating aspect. It's also incredibly fun. You know,
yeah.
it's like this
Yeah,
medieval thing.
the other thing that I think another sort of genre that it adds in while doing the story element, the dream element, is that it sort of brings in this factor that you kind of get from Princess Bride
Yeah,
of
exactly. Yeah,
of
right.
like these
Yeah,
alternate realities going on.
yeah,
So it makes it feel fairy tale-ish, which is kind
yeah,
of a
right.
constant for a lot of Gilliam's pieces, that even though he does these hard-boiled, very mature like sci-fi films,
Yeah,
they're also fairy tale like.
yeah, right.
And I think that was just a really strong quality about that dream sequence
Yeah,
that I agree with you. And it's also how it's also how it serves so many people, because it can serve like just someone who wants to enjoy a movie because it's really fun to watch that part.
yeah,
It serves sort of like the film analyst because of the symbolism and comparing it to like those types of things. And
right,
it also serves an experimentalist who just likes seeing something they haven't seen before. So
right.
it really it hits so many bases, and it works with all of them.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is very, and I think that this movie does that in like it repeatedly does that throughout the movie, where it just like it hits sort of in the core of like, this is fun, this is smart, and this is something I've never seen before.
yeah, yeah. Like I think, even like the first time I saw it, it's a lot. I mean, this
Yeah, it
movie,
is.
it goes. I mean, it kind of just it is a fucking. There's rarely a dull moment. Like it
Yeah.
really just fucking goes. And they throw a lot of things at you. Another thing that I love about this movie, like, is the world building is like almost next level shit because it's like
Yeah.
it's so well realized to the point where like and there's no scene where it's like the beginning where it's like here's what happened, here's what the world is. It just kind of lays it
Throws
out
you
there
in. And
and kind of just lets you live in it and lets you.
what is the opening of this movie?
The
Now,
opening
just because
scene
you
is a
mention it.
point of view of
In the
no,
clouds.
literally the opening of the film is the point of view of uh, him as his winged knighted self
Okay.
in the sky, and then it goes down to a terrorist attack. One of the like on the news channel, it goes to the news
Okay.
channel, and then
Okay.
one of
Yeah.
the terrorist attack happens,
Yeah.
Brazil, and then we get the guy at the typing in all the information,
Yeah.
and the fly gets in, changes the
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We
yeah,
start with
yeah.
the whole
So yeah, like
misconception
it
that
literally
puts
gets
the whole
right
thing.
in there. I mean, it gets like from minute one, like here's the kind of gonna be the main kind of push, the main draw, the main kind of
Yeah.
plot point of this movie. Like it doesn't really but the whole thing like just lets you kind of live in the world. And there's a lot of great movies like Blade Runner is another like
Yes.
amazing example of this kind of world building that
Yes.
is so infectious because it makes you like I love this movie and like Brazil and like I would love to just keep continuing to that world. I mean it's just such a world that I want to be in, even though it's kind of fucked up. But I
Yeah,
want to
right.
be in that world because it's so unique and cool. And every time I see it, I my brain just fires on so many cylinders of like the connection to like you know what our future now, our present now, and is this something that we're leading towards? Is this something that a lot of these elements in this movie, like he's commenting on a lot of obviously things about human society that may be fucking stupid or just
Yeah.
completely fucked up, and he's playing with that. I mean, it's truly a dystopian film, and
Yeah.
like so that I get so much out of that too every time I watch this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right that it's just the intelligent commentary that can come out of this is very meaningful to the present day at
Yeah,
hand, because um I guess it's like a guy who it's about seeking meaning, I guess, in a certain way,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
but also in it's about seeking meaning in a place where it feels like everything that you do leads to depression or something like that. So it's kind of like this
Well, to
balance.
me, this movie is kind of like, I mean, I can draw a lot of parallels to kind of, I mean, really what's happening in this movie is it's run by a giant, one company, basically. It's run by this giant, it's run by a corporation that basically, and it's kind of the MIO, the Ministry of Information, that
Yeah,
basically is is that's what everybody works for. You either work for in this movie, you either work for the fucking, information retrieval,
yeah,
information, like, which is hilarious, by the way.
yeah.
Um,
You mean that
and
scene where they pick up
well,
Buttle?
just like the aspect that they literally have
Oh,
like
information
information
retrieval.
retrieval, informational oh, I can't remember, like approval or something.
Yeah,
Like there's always this great scene where they're like, "Oh, that's in information,"
yeah,
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 like uh, rewrite or like fixes or something. Like
yeah,
they're always, you know, the way that this government is set up is to basically, you know, avoid all problems, and they don't care about, this arrests. This
yeah,
world is very um, brutal in that sense, and that's kind of what like they're it's a bad it's a bad corporation that don't care.
yeah.
They, it's all about the upper class, and so um, forgot what you were saying, but
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you were just dissecting. I was just like just further dissecting what the actual movie is about, which
oh
it's
yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
to me, it's kind of like I draw parallels to kind of like a lot in our world where a lot of these giant companies like Apple,
yeah,
Amazon, like they're Amazon kind of runs our world, in a
right,
way. Like so,
yeah.
it's interesting looking at it in that perspective.
And I think that even that is like what's happening in the film, and I think that when with like what is kind of being said by that, especially by his satirical mood about the
Uh
whole
huh.
thing,
Yeah.
is that is a direct commentary of how fucking stupid it is to live your life based on stupid things like information retrieval, like a lot of
Yeah.
or like
Right.
oh, I think
Yeah.
about
Exactly. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the dinner
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
where like the
Oh
one
yeah.
guy
Yeah.
who's the guy who seems
Yeah.
to be the only person with like a soul. He's not a great guy, but he has
Yeah.
like I'm like here, I exist in this planet, and I'm thinking, and
Yeah.
everyone else, and like there's a terrorist attack, and everyone just tries to go back, like they cover, like pretend they're not bleeding, they pick
Right.
up their shards of
Right.
clothes, and they
Right.
try to go back to their fancy dinner.
Right.
And I think that that's like such like a
Yeah.
powerful like moment
Also,
because
that like yeah, yeah, and
that's
also that
real.
the waiter when he's like, "You gotta say a number."
Yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
number. It's like the satirical aspect is so genius because it's like, yeah, you're so right. It's like everyone who cares about every kind of like you gotta do the rules. Like you
Yeah.
gotta follow the rules unless everything's fucked.
Yeah.
And like it's that's a but what's funny about that though is that's kind of the great synthesis of this movie, right? Though
Yeah.
that like is funny and satirical, but also there's a lot of tension brought up
Yeah.
from that. Like the terrorist scene. I mean, that terrorist scene is kind of you're like, I mean, that's the thing about this movie too. Is it's actually there are moments of sheer like terror and kind of like there are moments in this movie that I'm genuinely like frightened. I'm
Yeah.
genuinely like when Jack appears as the torture guy with a baby mask on that,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
highlights
exactly what I was
that
going to bring
from
up at the end of
his,
the movie.
you know, dreams. I mean, dude, because it's so genius because as an audience member, we've seen this dream that, Sam is having with these kind of weird baby face kind of creatures, right? But when we see it, in what Jack wearing it, it's immensely terrifying. It's almost like we're
Yeah.
seeing it through Sam and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
his nightmare, you know,
Yeah. I
and
think
his genius.
I think
Yeah.
the other thing that's also so disturbing about that scene specifically, and basically the dynamic
Oh
between
yeah,
Sam
that
and
scene is
Jack,
dude.
um,
That scene when Sam is trying to get information about Lowry, right?
yeah,
That's her name. Um, when he goes to his apartment and he's standing there and he has like blood on his hands and he's like
yeah,
crying.
yeah,
And it's like really like whoa, like he's trembling and
yeah,
Sam
yeah,
kind of walks up to him and he like turns into a you know straight laced man like on a dime.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's creepy.
that kind of there's aspects to this movie that kind of remind me of Bioshock. And
Yeah,
like this, I can see this world turning into Bioshock. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
can see the like these were kind of the first uh kind of maybe this was when Rapture was just a thing, just
yeah.
started before it
I think
devolved
I,
into
I think that's really true because which is actually a really good the last ending scene in the character of Jack is a really great like sort of the transition
yeah,
between like comparing those two things because it's the obsession with like the chivalrous and high culture
yeah,
but also doing horrific things, and especially with Jack's character, because which is like extremely the disturbing thing about the ending to me is how Jack's character has such a tie with the establishment that he will prioritize that morally over
yeah,
killing a person
yeah,
who
right,
he's friends with. It's
yeah,
like when he
right.
knows that it's Sam, it's like, yeah, it's just business, it's your
Extreme
job.
control,
Yeah, but it's yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think that sort of that mindset of just being so part of something that it will drive you to do horrible things is exactly what
to people you
BioShock.
love,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
right,
exactly what BioShock is too.
yeah,
So
right,
I
yeah,
totally agree with you. Like
yeah,
we're playing with sort of the same fire, I think.
yeah, right. Also, I also wanted to like talk about kind of too like the noir aspect to this
Right. Yeah.
because like that I think for most people will make or break it. Like if you are
Oh,
into like
interesting.
kind of the mystery of it and into
Yeah.
kind of the fun, which I love noirs.
Yeah.
Fucking love them, love the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I love the fast talking kind of detective,
Yeah.
stuff. It's really fun to me.
Yeah.
And this movie kind of has that,
Yeah.
in a fun way, in a really
Yeah.
cool way. And I love kind of the story of this. I love kind of the trajectory of almost every plot point. Like I love how like absurd it gets, and
Yeah.
like we were talking about, deeply serious that it gets. I love
Yeah.
that Sam, basically our main character, is sent on this wild goose chase because he sees the girl of his dreams, basically,
Yeah.
and like does whatever it will take
Yeah.
to find her.
Yeah.
And he's discovering all these things as he's doing it. And there's something so beautiful and kind of pure about that.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of makes the ending so like fucking
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah, and I think kind of going back to the noir thing for a second because maybe I'm wrong about this, but what I found to be so noir was like the aesthetic and the cinematography
Totally.
and the
Yeah.
lighting, and I found it
Yeah.
interesting that that worked so well with a plot that wasn't totally
Sure.
noir-esque.
Yeah, there's definitely some elements of it that are kind of the investigative
Yeah,
aspect that
I
Sam
agree.
is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah,
Sam is
true.
kind of acting as a private investigator, kind of in this world.
Yeah.
It's
Well, he's like the private investigator is a rebel character, and that's exactly what Sam is. So
yeah,
even
yeah,
though he's
right,
not a
yeah,
private
yeah,
detective, he's
exactly,
clearly a
yeah, right,
rebel.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Uh,
Um,
and so yeah, so like that's like something that's really like it's similar to Blade Runner in the way that like that movie is in noir, kind of set in this
yeah.
kind of
Yeah. I mean, I
very,
guess
very,
you
very different than Blade Runner, but
I didn't really interpret it as a mystery, but I suppose the investigation of
I
the
wouldn't call it a
girl,
mystery either.
yeah,
But
but the investigation of the girl is sort of like a it's like an abstract mystery,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Yeah.
because I was okay. So this is kind of a plot question, a little bit, because actually I have two plot questions, but it's
Uh-huh.
okay if we forget the second one. The first one is like about the girl. So obviously he's following this girl
Yes.
because she is the same face from his dreams. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right.
But is there also am I just kind of making up that there's this whole interaction about him like thinking that she's a terrorist, like that she's like a part of that
Yeah. So no.
corporation?
So she saw um Buttle, Buttle, not Cuddle.
Right.
He's fucking great.
I love,
She
yeah.
saw Buttle. She's a witness to the unlawful crime
Yeah.
that happened against Buttle. And so I think, if I remember correctly, that is why she's being investigated in the first place.
Yeah.
But he was also kind of suspecting that she was a terrorist too at the same
Yeah.
time. So I think there's actually it's both of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, it's kind of a weird thing because that was sort of the process where I realized how absurdist the story was when I was following, and I realized like, man, he has like no reason for following this girl around beside the
Exactly.
fact that
Yeah.
he saw her
No.
and he became
Yeah.
obsessed with her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of like, and I was totally along with like, well, what are we finding out? And I just sort of unpacked in my brain. It's just like, dude, he's not looking for anything.
Right.
He's just
He's
like, he's
looking for
just
love.
following her. Yeah. And
And
that's so
like
that,
it's kind of makes it so like that's kind of the great kind of core to this movie, right? Because there's all this kind of absurd, kind of real shit going on
yeah.
around him, around
Yeah.
this world.
Yeah, right. And
He is doing all that he can just to talk to her and
you
just
know,
to kind of
yeah,
have a connection
that's a really
because
good point.
she is the girl whose dreams supposedly.
I like the thing that you said about like this sort of this love story track, and then there's all this crazy stuff that's also really meaningful, because I was gonna say that this film sort of like layers of MacGuffins, because you have like the Tuttle thing and the Tuttle Buttle
Yeah,
thing, which is like ultimately that's not really important, and then you have
right.
like the terrorists and like all this other stuff that comes up, and
Yeah,
every turn it's like this is what's important, and it's like no, it's just kind of another MacGuffin.
yeah,
Which a MacGuffin is sort of like a central plot point that is that you think is going to be the point of the film, but it turns out it's not the point of the film at all. I
yeah,
wish I could
right.
think of an example.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people use Hitchcock. Anyways, but the thing about that makes this so it's not frustrating because you just keep going to the next
yeah,
thing and
right.
realizing it's not important
Yeah,
is that fact that each MacGuffin, even though it's not what motivates Sam, is
yeah.
something that's really true and interesting that
Yeah, the
has
tie into the
the
film. Yeah,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's a really cool way to make a movie.
I was also like thinking about all the kind of cool and amazing, like some of my favorite like world building moments in this movie. Probably my favorite man is when he gets he accepts the promotion to information retrieval, and he goes to the office building,
Hmm.
and the way that the workers interact and the way that it is so fucking funny and
Yeah.
so brilliant that like so basically it's like all this open literally no one's walking through the halls except for this like everything is happening in one pack of people that are
Yeah.
just and the boss is literally he's
Yeah.
just saying one word to
Yeah, and
everything.
they're Scooby Doo like door dashing between in this
Exactly.
hallway back and forth.
And how like Sam's accidentally kind of like gets rattled in there, and he knows exactly what he wants and just gets out. It's such a funny like it's like it's the satirical nature of this movie, right? Everything's
Yeah.
kind of elevated and
Yeah.
kind of it's elevated and off in a weird way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
really great.
I
It's
love that.
so
Yeah.
unique and not a lot of people can think of that and like
Yeah.
how to do it. And then he's a really funny guy and like
Yeah.
also a lot of the characters in this movie, like side characters, are so
Yeah.
funny. They're
Like the
so
other,
funny.
like his office neighbor in that scene that you were
Oh my
talking about.
god,
He's
dude.
like that
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
hysterical,
Yeah.
so hysterical.
Also, I love the two guys that are supposedly from the repair his
Oh
air
my
conditioner.
god, I
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
whole arc in
yeah.
that
It's
that
incredible.
thing.
But like, that's another thing that's so great because like you have this thing that there's so many different plot threads because they invaded his apartment and he's so like not even really
Yeah,
paying attention to that. Every time he comes back, it's like, yeah, we gotta fix the water cooler. And it's like, what?
yeah,
And like there's just such a funny, silly arc,
yeah,
and they're so like Bob Hoskins is so great. Like I love him and
yeah.
everything. He played Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
He fits
Um,
the typecast.
he
Yeah,
also was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, bunch of other shit. But uh, he is so funny. And then his his partner who like just can't talk, like basically just like
yeah, right,
mumbles and yeah, it's such a that's the thing about this. It's like you don't need that, like
right.
that's
Yeah.
just a fun kind of world building thing. That's kind
What
of like that, like
I think that like yeah, you just don't have to add that in there.
but also
And
that's how they kind of introduce Tuttle as well. So that's also like it
right,
works.
right. And I think that that's one of the crazy strengths of choosing to structure and cut this movie in this weird way because it allows for such easy digressions to these points that aren't necessarily super crucial, but you can just add an element
Right.
that is
Yeah.
something that you can come back to
Yeah.
later. And it's a sort of it is a really satisfying sort of uh layering of things on
Yeah.
top of each other, and that it just it that's what it kind of feels like. It just feels like it feels like Gilliam's just like has a nice cinnamon roll, and he
Uh-huh. A
has some
Cinnabon.
so like has a cinnamon, and he has some
Dude.
icing, and he just keeps layering it with
Yeah.
icing
Oh, my mouth is watering, dude.
because you're thinking about a
A
cinnamon.
Cinnabon. Have you ever had a
A
full
cinnamon.
Cinnabon?
No, I heard it will
Dude,
kill you.
it will kill you. I mean, it will give you a heart attack.
They're big, right? They're
They're
like really big.
fucking big.
I like big as a
Next time,
like
if you go, next time you're at the airport,
yeah,
go to Cinnabon and
yeah.
go, give me a Cinnabon. And they're like, are you
Honestly,
sure? And you're like,
honestly,
okay.
honestly, I have never even seen a Cinnabon.
Here's the
I've
thing.
only heard
Here's
about
the
it.
thing. They are so good. So good. But they're
I mean,
too good.
it's
They're like
they're just
6,000
cinnamon roll.
calories.
Yeah, right. Well, it's bread with sugar and more
Bread,
sugar with
cinnamon,
sugar on top.
sugar. Exactly. Woo! So good. But yeah, no, it's Terry Gilliam is a cinnamon.
Yeah, dog.
Absolutely. Um, oh, we also didn't talk about Sam's mom, who's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Where she, like that was a great scene with the plastic surgery, and she's like
Yeah, it's like
all into the plastic
stretching.
surgery and stretching her fucking face, and like I love how that's another like absurd thing about this movie is as the movie kind of progresses, she gets like younger and younger and younger and younger,
Yeah,
and then
super
her
cool.
friend. This is another fucking great little side thing. Her friend, his mom's friend, are trying to set him up with her daughter,
Yeah.
and like it's just complete. It's not. But it's such a funny dynamic because it's like this like overbearing mom thing, um, but so over the top. But it
Yeah.
fits in this world. It feels like it's so like kind of creepy and tension film because
Yeah.
it's so real, but it's
It's a
also like
real
absurd.
I think it's also a really great it's such a creative plot device because it's a wonderful distraction to his goal that's very
Yeah,
authentic,
yeah, right,
that
yeah,
like of course he would have to at some point everyone like if you you have parents that are overbearing like that, then it makes sense that you would have to go to a dinner party that you don't really want to go to and have
yeah,
to go
right,
around like sucking
yeah,
everybody's dick to get
yeah,
to the person you
yep,
need to get
yep.
to.
That
And
scene, dude. Oh my god, dude, the way that like they all talk to each other, man,
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah.
Dude, so good.
I really you see it's weird too because you see like the scenes and shit that he's doing like that dinner scene's a really great example of that. It's like you've seen this joke done before, right?
Yeah,
Like the guy at like a
absolutely.
preppy
Yeah.
thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
the way that Gilliam does he does such a great job with it because instead of like playing it realistically or trying to like play it like for actual jokes, he's just like, let's
Yeah.
build a world with these
Yeah.
characters who are really in this world
Well,
and
I mean
just
that's
let it
it's
go.
interesting that he does that because he comes from the Monty Python world,
Yeah, right.
and so like he was he directed Holy Grail, and
Yeah.
like
Oh, he's the director. Yeah, that of
yeah, he
course that makes
directed
sense.
yeah.
Obviously.
And
Yeah.
so like he obviously has an idea for like fucking comedy.
Yeah.
They did that show for I don't even know how many years, like Flying Circus.
Yeah, right.
And I think he directed, and he's definitely like a director in a lot of those episodes. So
Yeah.
and those sketches. So he just understands kind of visual comedy, but he's bringing that element here with this amazing world that he wrote. It's a genius idea to do it. It's a unique thing. I could
Yeah.
not believe that this is one of those things that we talk about like every once in a while that you can't believe that this movie works because like on paper it could just go horribly wrong, but this is like one of those things that is almost perfect at executing what it wants to be and
Yeah. Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is. It's just and you basically watch it, you're like, do you like this thing or you don't? Like it's like such a unique vision. Like
Yeah.
and
I
so
think that as we're sort of talking about everything, I'm realizing that perhaps the easiest way to describe this film is just Monty Python in a sci-fi sort of
out
with
of
a
the Blade
sci-fi
Runner, yeah,
genre
yeah,
and all
dystopian
that
genre,
stuff
yeah.
because it really
Well,
is.
it's definitely deeper than like a Monty
Well,
Python.
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
genius thing
right.
about it
Yeah,
because
right.
like it's so much more than just being comedy.
Yeah,
It's
right.
so much more than that. But I'm
Yeah,
thinking about I'm realizing what is so great about Monty Python is that it's funny as fuck. Yeah.
yeah,
But in addition to that, when you watch The Holy Grail, it's not just a series of sketches. That shit meshes, You're watching
yeah,
the
right.
whole fucking movie. You're not
Yeah,
just like going to the best scene, the
yeah,
best
right.
joke on that. It's like
Yeah, right.
you're going through the whole fucking
Yeah, right.
adventure,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Because even though it's bizarre as
That they
fuck, it's
made
still
for
a
like
real story.
uh they made that movie for a hilariously low amount. Like it
Yeah.
was like I didn't know how they did it. Like when I saw the
Yeah.
numbers, I was like, what did you even do? Like
Yeah.
I think it was something like 200 grand
That's
or
crazy. That is
something, which
so
is
crazy.
so low to make
Yeah.
a movie. Um,
It's unspeakably low. I think
apparently that's why they're not, when they're riding their horses, it's
yeah,
not.
I heard that before. They
Yeah,
got the
that's like they
coconut
couldn't
because they can't
afford them.
afford. Yeah. I think that is so it's
It's
also
so
what that's
good.
so impressive about how good a Terry Gilliam is because Monty Python, all of their movies, the thing I find is if we're talking about specifically the Holy Grail, it doesn't feel low budget because the world
Yeah,
feels really big.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing that Terry Gilliam is so talented at
That's
is that when
fucking great directing. I mean,
yeah,
that's like
yeah,
what they really did, really.
I think that a lot of movies sort of are which this isn't a bad thing. This is just like a compliment of like how much work that Gilliam is putting into this
Yeah,
is that a lot of directors are just sort of trying to like literally build a set that's believable. And but once you're outside that set, it's like it doesn't exist anymore, which makes sense, right? That's how all movies literally are. But when you're watching a Terry Gilliam film, it's like I believe that this world also exists
yeah,
in the Asia
yeah,
of this
exactly.
world.
Yeah,
Like
right.
this world is
Yeah,
like this in Antarctica. It's
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah,
It's
right.
not just this film set that I'm
Yeah,
seeing, which
right.
is kind of how David Lynch makes me feel
Yeah,
too. It's
right.
just like everywhere is like this. Even
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
not seeing
Yeah.
with my camera, it feels like you're getting a snapshot into a different reality.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
this
Yeah,
is it
right.
is a different reality.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
fucking crazy, dude. It's so cool. Like I never want to lose it. It's
Yeah.
like such a it's just constantly entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
Um man. Oh, we need to talk about fucking Robert De Niro. Did you know that
Oh
he
yeah.
in this movie when he was
No, it
locked
totally
up?
surprised me. He might have been my favorite character. I
Oh, he's
love
oh dude, he's
Tuttle.
so
Tuttle
great.
was so funny.
He's great, man.
Oh, Robert De Niro
Great.
is like actually a hilarious
He's
actor. He
excellent. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen King of Comedy?
No, I haven't
Oh,
seen that.
he's dude. He did that. It was actually funny. I was watching this. I was like, because it's weird. Like he's kind of like it's like this, and then King of Comedy came out like the same time. And so like
Hmm.
it was like, oh,
80s.
these two really hilarious roles. And then I mean, it's obviously he's a hilarious. He's Robert De Niro. He can do anything, you know.
Yeah, right, right.
Do this and be like the zany kind of character, and then he'll be the scariest person you'll ever see in like Casino or fucking Goodfellas, or you know. And then he could be you can have the most sympathy for him in the world, and like Taxi Driver and fucking Raging Bull, and then you like you know are laughing at him. You know,
Yeah.
like and meet the parents. You know, and that's like fucking 40 years
He's
later.
he's
He's
pretty
crazy.
damn flexible.
He's pretty good. Pretty
pretty
good.
pretty fucking good. Yeah, I loved his character so much. It just cracked me up that his whole character, this is just so great about like the satirical world and the whole, again, the jokes are funny, but they also all go towards the central theme of
Yeah.
what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Right.
Because here yet again is this guy who has become a terrorist simply
Yeah.
because he wants to be a normal
Yeah.
hardware
Yes.
repairman, but he
Yes.
doesn't want to do
I
do the
love it.
paperwork,
I
but he's
love
a
it.
terrorist because of
I
that.
love it,
That
man.
is genius.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
amazing. Yeah,
funny.
dude, it's like, dude, that was one of the things. Like when I saw this, I was like, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
it's just so,
Hilarious.
but it's portrayed in a way that's like this is he really believes that. You know,
I
it's
know.
not
Yeah, yeah,
it's
right,
not
right.
jokey.
Well, yeah, it's like it's not like the great thing about
It's
like
such a funny
how
world, man.
I think the other thing I don't like necessarily is that even though Sam, what I not what I don't like about other movies that try to do stuff like this, that this movie succeeds at doing, is that Sam is a character who is like the sane person, but he's
Yeah,
also a character who is in that world. So it's
yeah,
not like the fish out of water thing where he's like going around and all the zany shit's around. He's like, what happens? And he's like a guy from 2020 or
yeah,
whatever time
right.
period you're from.
Oh, yeah, like a
Like
fish out
this
of water kind of
yeah,
deal.
like fish
Yeah.
out of water. It's like, no, Sam's like, when Sam hears that,
No,
he's like,
he's
no, yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. I would do
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, that's what another thing about this that I love is he's a resident in the world, you know,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and like he's just kind of questioning it, you know, as he's kind of progressing through the movie
Yeah.
until it ends kind of in a not so great way. But
Yeah. With a lobotomy. Yeah.
what did you think of the way that um so this the title of this movie, Brazil. Now, like when I first saw it, I was like, why is this called Brazil? Like,
Right.
why is this called Brazil? And I realized that, you know, when I watched it with subtitles, I realized it helped me that the recurrent song that keeps
Yeah, it's Brazil.
is Brazil. And and there's something really interesting about the song, the connection to the ending, and the title, you know, and you know, it makes our brain go like a thousand, you know, I don't know, like I have a lot of ideas of what maybe he was really trying to say with the title of this movie and kind of what the song kind of why is this a thing throughout the
Yeah.
movie? Why are they
Yeah.
singing this particular song? There might actually be like to me it's kind of like about this like hell that they're living in and they kind of are trying to escape using
Yeah.
kind of
Idealized Brazil.
idealized Brazil, using the song kind of this this escape from this hellish reality that a lot of these people are denying that they're actually in, that they are. And I think
Yeah,
Sam at the end, like, realizes that this is a hell state that they're living in. You know that they,
I yeah,
yeah.
I think that you're hitting the nail on the head
But
with that.
I don't know the historical. There might be some background of the song, or
Yeah.
that might have some even some more significance to it. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so. And I think that if that's true, that's cool. I'm into that. But
Yeah,
I think that what's really brilliant about it is how it's like Terry Gilliam's not this is what I don't like about a lot of movies that are trying to be super analytically smart because it's just like,
yeah,
"Oh,
right.
dude, I put in this song title that talks
Yeah,
about like what
right,
actually happened." It's like that
right.
can be cool sometimes. I'm
It's
not saying
just,
it's not, but
well,
what's
this
cool
is just
about
such a great, like, it's something for you to ponder, and it's again part of the world. You know,
yeah.
it's not just Sam that's singing the song. You
Right.
know,
And I think that it's not like random either. It also has this kind of thematic importance to it,
right?
but it's more like this the way that it makes you feel, which I think it's really evocative for describing that feeling that you just said, you know.
Yeah,
It's that it's becomes the theme song for this feeling of man, I wish I was somewhere
yeah,
else.
right, exactly.
And I
Yeah,
think that that just is and it's great that the
beautiful
movie
song.
the ending of the film is as I'm sort of connecting it's sort of like the it's a really disturbing like it was
Yeah,
a really disturbing escape for Sam, you
yes.
know, that
Oh my God,
instead
dude. Dude, the last shot is like,
that's
dude.
a that's one of the
Oh,
most stunning last shots I've ever
it's yeah,
seen.
it's when the credits roll, you're just like, oh my
Whoa.
God.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I loved
yeah,
like that the credit ending credit scenes with choosing to end with the Brazil sound also made me so impressed with the bravery that Gilliam took in creating a soundtrack for this
yeah,
because even like something like Blade Runner, which I'm not calling saying is like contrived or anything.
yeah,
Wow, not
yeah,
saying that
yeah,
at all. But like with something like Blade Runner has a very like synergistics
yeah. Oh, dude, it's yeah, it's
like
like
Blade
synth.
Runner
Yeah,
sounding synth
right.
sound,
But
but
like,
Gilliam puts like the
yeah,
rumba and
it's
like all
super.
this
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
music.
exactly. Yeah, it's truly unique and really weird. And
Yeah,
that's what kind of reminded me about Bioshock. You know, like
yeah,
Bioshock
yeah,
has
yeah, yeah,
kind of
totally.
music like that, and you know, I would assume that maybe the Bioshock creator maybe was influenced by Brazil. I would he might have really he
Oh
probably
God,
really likes this
I bet
movie.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he probably really likes it.
yeah,
Um, but you know, so yeah, it's just it's a great you know yeah you don't expect music like that, and
yeah,
like it's interesting that also all the music in this movie is really old. It's really
yeah,
and it's not you know it. I love dystopias and like stuff like that. That kind of it's an interesting contrast, right? Where something's maybe in the future or this alternate reality, but it's playing there. Everybody's listening to this music that's considered the old world, you know,
yeah,
um, and maybe that's just something that is new, or some, you know, something
yeah.
that this the inhabitants are, you know, living in the past, or you know, but
Yeah, I also that kind of reminds me of another I read about this in the Wikipedia page that I think is so true and it's so cool because you're talking about this blending of past and future and I think that was one of the things that Gilliam was designing in this
uh huh,
futuristic model. He was trying to combine he's I think his quote was that he was trying to make the future from the perspective of the 50s. You know, what the 50s thought the future would
amazing,
look like.
amazing,
So
yeah,
like his setting is described as being retro future. So it
yeah,
feels like the past and it
right.
also feels like the future, which makes this film sort of
That's why
eternal.
it's hard to, yeah, exactly. Eternal. Yeah, it will never be dated. It will
It doesn't
always
feel like
be,
it was made in
because
1985.
even like to us, where it's like, wow, this is like an 80s kind of thing, but, um, like, I was like, oh, this is what people from the 80s thought what the future is going to look like, or,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it's not even like that. It's like it's combination of so many different things and just
Yeah.
Gillianisms, you know,
Yeah.
the like the computers like are so like not practical at all. Like they don't like they make no sense, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
but
Right.
they're so aesthetically Brazil, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
really
dog.
like nothing
Yeah.
really I've never really seen. There's that great shot where like Sam's on the computer. It's just that great tracking shot where it goes behind the computer.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
It's
talking
like a
about.
mirror of his big head, just like
Dog,
uh,
let's just also talk about how fucking impressive this is. As weird as this film is, that it's also commonly taught in film school.
mhm.
Like this film, as weird, it's like a film. It's just like, all right, this is just like an experimental category. It's like,
Yeah,
no, you use this film to teach students the fundamentals of like, here's how you construct a good shot. You
yeah,
know, this
yeah,
is how you do good dollies. This is
yeah.
how you stage
Dude,
things
there's
well.
a lot. There's some incredible camera movements and like the first another great gag that I love where at the beginning of the movie where at the information uh where does he work in the beginning? He's basically the one that's like
Oh.
typing in the information and sending it
It's
out.
not information approval.
I think
It's
it might be approval. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's information approval. And he
One of the
works and
informations.
he works there. And I love that opening shot where it's like this long kind of tracking shot of everybody kind of working and
Yeah.
you know and I love the gag like that whenever the boss leaves there watching the soccer game. Like
Yeah.
whenever they leave, it's just great. And also the conversations between the workers are like, man, who's ever gonna leave? It's like, who's playing today?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's like Barcelona. It's like fuck. So like, well, watch the game. It was like such funny dialogue. It's so like that's great. But yeah, the cinematography is excellent
Yeah.
in this movie.
Which I
Especially
think,
some of the dream sequence stuff is
oh yeah,
awesome.
crazy.
So awesome. Yeah.
Crazy. I loved, yeah.
Also, like, I don't know how much money like he got for this, but
Yeah.
it was just shocking too because it
You
looks
know,
like like the dream sequence stuff. I mean, it
yeah.
looks pretty like expensive. You know,
Also
I
the
might be
fact
wrong
that
though.
most of all the effects and stuff were probably pretty practical. So it's like
Absolutely, yeah,
I don't know if that
1985. Yeah,
so it's interesting. You know what I just also thought of is that this movie kind of reminds me of Big Trouble in Little China. It's like
yeah, yeah,
it's like Big Trouble in
yeah,
Little China with a story projection of Under the Silver Lake.
yeah. And I think Big Trouble in Little China is definitely more like a comedy, like a straight up
Yeah, it's the
comedy.
like bread and butter, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, the Brazil. I love that movie. We gotta talk about more Carpenter, but
Yeah, Carpenter's really good.
yeah, it's amazing. Um, he actually put out a song recently. I
Oh,
gotta listen to
really?
that. Yeah,
He
his
makes
music's
cool
awesome.
music.
Yeah, his
Yeah, he
music's
makes
awesome.
really cool music.
Um, but yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it's actually a really good comparison. Um, and
I think it's the blending of satire, like a cool, actually
yeah, I
commentary
guess like
story, and
I
fairy
see the
tale.
Under the Silver Lake thing. Now I understand what you're
Yeah,
trying to say. Is that the tones and the feeling of Under the Silver Lake are totally similar in the
yeah,
way that like of what it's kind of going for.
and also just the literal structure as opposed to choosing
Yeah,
like
yeah,
here
right.
we do this, then we do
Yeah,
this, third act, like
there's this kind of noir kind of aspect, but
yeah.
he's kind of not really interested in that.
Yeah, and also
So.
and yeah, and just sort of
Yeah,
instead just following your ADHD sort of nose and
yeah,
whatever is like the brightest or
right,
smelliest thing in front of
right.
you.
And which ultimately in this movie leads to his downfall and leads
Yeah.
to a
Yeah, yeah.
kind of a dystopian sci-fi ending.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I guess
which
we also gonna talk about um the girl,
yeah.
Lowry, who I
Yeah.
think is fucking great in this movie. There's like this when she's introduced, when she when he finally gets in her cab, there is that fucking phenomenal scene where he's like, he's like, "You're the girl of my dreams," and he's like,
Yeah.
"What is like? I love you," and
Yeah.
she's like, and there's that great scene where she's like being sarcastic, and she's kind of like, "Yeah," like he's totally like buying into the fact that she's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're sexy, like you're
Yeah.
cute." And he's just like, and then she just kicks her out, kicks him out. That
Yeah.
scene was fucking awesome because like she's so believable. Like I love
Yeah.
how like sarcastic and like believable she is in
Yeah.
that moment. So
I
great.
need to. I'm interested to see how that feels in the second listen, second watch, because that was like that whole sequence with like the car chase and her those interactions was sort of the thing that brought me out of the film a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Mainly because it was cringy and I just didn't
Yeah,
really enjoy that very
yeah.
much. The other thing though about like the love story is that I was kind of distracted by. It was hard because it's not a logical decision that she like kind of falls in love with him, just sort of decides that, but that was a
Well,
distracting thing for
here's
me.
the thing that I really like about it is that I like that she like I could see her like kind of like because think about this world, right? Where she's obviously somebody that is also an outsider in this world and she's kind of
Yeah.
a rebel herself. And I like the aspect of he is he's literally she's taking him out. He's literally like grabbing onto the car and there's that great scene where she gets out, he's literally like hanging on the car like a fucking Looney Tune
Yeah.
and in that moment, she's kind of like, dude, this guy really is trying to protect me, like,
Yeah.
because he genuinely kind of cares. And I feel like in this world,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. You don't meet
Yeah.
people like that, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I think the
And so
thing
I
for
like that.
me, the thing for me is just like reading. I think it's also a situation of sort of like 80s like uh sex politics as well, because the thing to me that I couldn't I think you're right. I see what like the thematic sort of connection is supposed to be there, but all I see when seeing that film is a man harassing a woman, and it's
I
like,
guess. I mean, I think,
because
like,
it's like, think about it, it's a creep who just got in her car and just like said like I love you. It's like, I get the humor in it.
no,
I
it's
like, I'm
not,
not
though.
saying
It's
that.
not. He's protecting her.
Yeah, but like all that, like,
But he's also, like, that's the thing about this is, like, she is wanted. Like she is gonna like so there's that like that's the kind of thing that I like about it is he he likes her but he's also like I want to help you like I don't
sure.
want to like and there's also like I don't know I don't really see it that way but I'm
Yeah,
not really
I saw it. I saw it out of I think it's also the fact that um like it's just the fact of not thinking about like it's just that specific interaction. It's just
yeah
the cringiness of that interaction, and thinking of that as like in the context of our situation. That's sort of like how it affected me. But I agree with you. I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah
I think you're right. I see what you're saying of how it works, but it was just a moment that took me out,
yeah
as opposed to like resonate with me, and sort of
yeah
made the whole trajectory of like their relationship, which it's like, it's not that it didn't work so well, it just made it more absurd. So like now, as I'm processing
well
and realizing how absurd the relationship was, it also like adds, it then adds to like, it sort of concocts and
when she
connects
just
for me.
fucking dies
Right.
yeah
Right.
where they just literally like no yeah we killed her it's like
Yeah.
oh fuck. Like it's the ending is so brutal because it's kind of because another fucking amazing thing about
Uh-oh.
this is like there this movie has like a false ending.
Oh,
Like
right.
the fucking like hilarious way where you think that like when I first saw it, I genuinely was like, if it ended there, I would be like okay with it. Like I would be
Yeah.
like, okay, that was cool. Like that was funny and cool.
Yeah.
but it doesn't. And like sometimes movies do that, like they do like these false endings. This is really truly one of the only times that I was genuinely like, oh my, like
Yeah.
we're still
Y-
going, like,
Yeah.
but like I loved that because it was kind of this pure synthesis kind of for sale where his dreams were literally coming true, right?
Yeah,
Where he
right.
literally has his
Which that
dreams
whole
become
that whole sequence, by the way, where like he thinks that he escapes with Toll, and you have that whole sequence of him like running through the
yes.
city. That
Yeah.
is probably some of the most
Yeah.
incredible filming I have
Yeah,
seen.
yeah.
It
It's
was it
amazing.
was
Yeah.
mind-boggling
Yeah, it's
how
amazing.
he went through that whole sequence.
Yeah.
It's like he recapped the entire movie in those
Yeah. Yeah,
last
dude.
minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and anyways, yeah, like
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you were talking about before this.
But like yeah, so I was just saying like when the fairy tale kind of aspect ends to it,
Yeah,
like reality just boom. And that's kind of what this movie is, right? It's just kind of like having these absurd kind of comedy moments and then the reality of the world kind of just fucking kind of comes in there and just kind of punches through that, right?
yeah,
It kind of hits harder in a way.
yeah.
And that's kind of what he does at the end of this movie. And kind of like just it, it kind of enforces this theme of control, which is kind
Yeah.
of what this kind of movie is about. You
I
know?
love the way that I love the way of the twist that felt of him revealing that he never got out of the
Yeah,
lobotomy chair.
yeah, right.
I love I had such a cool feeling of both it was satisfaction and surprise
Yeah,
because
right.
the fairy tale ending, like you said, it's like that could work, but I don't really want it to end
It could
there.
work because that's an element of the film, right?
Yeah.
Where there's this actual dream sequence that we're seeing being played, and it's funny that it was just a funny, cute kind of moment where it's like,
I feel like the decision of where he did the actual ending versus like if he didn't have that at the end is sort of like dissecting the different engine endings of Blade Runner. Like the
yeah,
versions, like
yeah,
there's
oh
the
yeah,
ending of
yeah,
Blade Runner.
yeah.
Like I feel like this is
Oh,
the
dude,
good
yeah.
ending. But
I
like
think at the end of the day, if we had the ending where it just ended with, they get in the bed and that amazing shot and through this weird kind of I don't even know what it was, like a weird like hole, like a I don't know what that was. It was weird. It was like
yeah.
an overhead shot. It was really cool, but it just ended there.
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
Oh,
that was
you mean
cool.
like you mean when like they have sex like all the way back there?
Yeah, kind of like that. And then
Oh, I was thinking like cutting the two endings being the ending where he gets lobotomized and then like the pan out shot of them at the
oh
trailer
yeah,
park.
that too. Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking of. So like that, yeah, and then but yeah, and then it's revealed. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
I think it's kind of interesting. It reminds me of the Blade Runner ending where they're like on a helicopter and they're like flying into the sunset,
yeah,
like sort of like the happy fairy tale ending.
yeah, right,
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Oh
and
my
it's
god.
like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that didn't that wasn't it was
yeah.
an ending that's like okay, sure, but it
Sure.
feels so much better
Yeah,
to end with his lobotomy
yeah,
and that
yeah,
amazing shot and bringing
yeah,
Brazil back. You
yeah.
know, that's so cool.
It's just like it's such a great thing because like the audience, is gonna be laughing. They're probably gonna be most likely if this movie works, he was thinking, everybody's gonna be laughing and enjoying kind of this kind of adventure romp that
Yeah,
this is with these kind of cool sci-fi elements. Hopefully we'll get something out of it. But with the ending, I'm gonna leave them with kind of a fucking reality gut punch of what you just saw is not what you just saw, what you
yeah,
thought you just saw.
yeah, yeah,
And fucking bye. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
yeah,
You have to think about kind of the intention of the filmmaker and how he's thinking about the audience, how he like wants to respond to this movie almost. Like,
yeah,
because I mean, that's risky as hell to be like literally the last 20 minutes, or you don't even really know like how. the time wise, like how much, he was in that chair,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's just like such a ballsy kind of ending to end it on,
I agree.
and leaves you with a lot of things to kind of think about.
Yeah, I think it really does. It opens the door to just so much interesting thought process and like comparison, and also such a creative way to think about things. It just offers such a creative analysis
Yeah.
on how to look at your life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we fucking
I
talked
think
this movie's ear off, dude.
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. We
Um,
dissected it.
I I I think I fucking love this movie. I think it's so awesome, man.
Yeah, I think we can comfortably say that this is
Thick
thick
and
and
butter
butter
approved.
approved.
So awesome. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. I mean,
Criterion
it's a
channel?
great.
Is it?
It is on the Criterion Channel, yeah. But you can rent it. You
Yeah.
find it. It might be on HBO Max. I don't know. They have fucking everything, it seems.
Yeah.
Um,
The big
so,
boys.
all right, everybody.
We have
Next
a
week is a
y-
special episode.
yeah.
We're not going to tell
Yeah.
you what it is. It's just a fun episode that we've been planning, and I think it's going to be fun. Or a disaster. We will see. We don't know.
Yep.
Well, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Um, so look out for that. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. We're not on TikTok yet.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Should be.
We
Uh,
are on Facebook though. So
we
if you
are on
use
Facebook.
that, you
We
can follow
should
us there.
do. We should start doing TikTok dances. I feel like that is a good way to sell our podcast.
I
Where
agree with you.
we have
We have to
we
dance our bodies clean.
dance our bodies off, dance our bodies clean, dance my body clean.
Dance it.
What was my other single that I'm gonna drop? Oh
Dick
yeah,
crazy.
quarantine's making me dick crazy.
Yeah,
It's gonna
that's
be
the
a
full
double. It's
title.
gonna be a 2-pack. It's gonna be quarantine's making me dick crazy, and
Forgot what you just said.
forgot what we
Dance,
just said. All
dance.
right, everybody. We've been talking for too long. All right, people. That was fun. That was
Tell your
really
mom
fun.
and
Tell your
dad,
mom, your frog sibling,
Fox siblings.
your lizards,
Yeah.
or
Uh,
hell, even your hamster. You know,
yeah. Well, we limit at birds. No boards are
no
allowed through the door.
gerbils.
No
Hamsters are okay, but no gerbils.
no gerbils or birds. No avian or gerbils.
Yeah, fuck
Not
birds, dude.
allowed, dog.
Unless you own a peacock. Peacocks are okay.
Peacocks are cool. Is that because they can't fly? They don't freak you out as
Yeah,
much, or they're
yeah,
just beautiful? Yeah.
yeah.
What
I like.
about ostriches? Freak you out though?
Yeah, but you know why?
I do kind
They
of know
run
why.
fucking fast, dude. Also, yeah, no. That's a no.
No
Imagine if
peacocks.
an
No,
ostrich could
yes,
fly,
peacocks. No
dude. If an
ostriches.
ostrich could fly, I would never leave my house. Never. Can you imagine that right now? Imagine you look up and you see a fucking ostrich with his fucking long ass legs just come down and just pick you up and like, all
Take you
right, I'm
away.
gonna eat you, and you have
They're
nothing to do about it.
they're weird looking birds as well.
Have you ever like look up? Have you ever like been up and close and personal with an ostrich?
I think I have a couple.
Highly don't recommend it,
Yeah,
dude.
I think they're kind of
I
neat.
was freaked out. Well, here's the thing about them. Here's the thing about birds,
Uh-huh.
chickens, ostriches, all those things.
Yeah.
An ostrich, when I was in a car and we were in like one of those drive-in zoos, and the
Yeah.
ostrich like came up and stuck its head in the car and was like looking around. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, there is nothing going on in his brain. Like all he's
Yeah.
thinking about is food, food, food. That eyeball looks like food. Like
Yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
he's thinking about. He doesn't have anything going on. He is a stupid, he's like, I'm gonna run and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
That's all he knows.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, there's something just creepy about like looking at something when you start realizing like, oh, you have nothing. You just have you don't know what's going on. Like
I
you
like
don't.
I, I like I like those big old guys. I like them.
Would you ride one? Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
I would try that.
Apparently,
I mean, I probably wouldn't do that because it's probably not
that's not
safe to
good for
do.
them though.
No, and it probably hurt their backs. But
Videos of ostrich racing, insane,
yeah, they're
insane.
crazy
People
birds.
get hurt
Yeah,
because you
like
can't,
riding. Are these ostrich races like they're riding the ostriches and riding them to
bro.
battle?
They're like they go in cages and they're like, and they like launch out like fucking like guys on the ostriches. Like, well, the thing is like
Wow.
you can't really stay on an ostrich. Like you can't. Like they're not as
They
thick.
don't have that nice curvature for
Yeah,
your
they're
butt.
not meant for sitting.
Yeah.
So, um, anyway, well, nice little ostrich tangent.
Our whole point is
Bye.
yeah. See you next week.
Tell your ostrich friend. I think that was the point.
Yeah.
I said don't tell your ostrich friend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Bye bye.